Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And we can't really do this, but if you can take an adult and say, okay, you no longer have a job, you no longer have responsibilities,
Uh-huh.
you can just play with your friends or whatever, and just talk with them, and you would learn a lot. But adults, they worry that I've got this job, I've got this my family, I've got to take care of them, and so they're spending time, cognitive energy on other things, and so sometimes it's hard for them. The other thing that maybe is a little different with children and adults, typically children aren't worried about making mistakes. Adults often will be a little bit worried about that, and so there's maybe some anxiety, and so some affective issues. Once you start bringing those in, if an adult learner is worried, typically that shuts down learning. If you're anxious and you're worried, okay, people are going to laugh at me or I'm going to make mistakes, typically what that does is it interferes with learning. So to really be a good learner, language learner, you kind of have to be like a child in the sense that you're just going to have fun and you're going to make mistakes and it's okay. It doesn't matter. You're going to communicate and that kind of thing. So again, the approach that you take in the language learning environment makes a big difference. If you're really anxious, it's not gonna go as well. So that's another important thing. The best language learners have high tolerance for ambiguity. They're just happy to be there and they're just going to soak up what they can, but they're not super anxious. So a good teacher is going to do what they can to create an environment where that anxiety is minimized and everyone feels comfortable, because it's not uncommon in a context where you're learning, where you could have people that make a mistake and maybe someone laughs or something like that. And if people internalize that and say, oh no, I can't make a mistake, then it's going to be a problem for their learning.
Fascinating. It's definitely true because I've seen people who got laughed at. It's like, oh, adults tend to be very self-conscious in their language, and I think that has a lot to do with pride as well. Not pride, but like as an adult, you're expected other things than children, so you have to do all stuff, and it's kind of in a way humiliating to lower yourself to the standard of a child when learning a new language, especially as an adult. And I've seen that in real life, and so that really creates anxiety.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that kind of anxiety shuts down learning. So I don't know why or exactly how that works, but basically, learning will shut down, and you could be in a situation where you're in a class for an hour and you could learn nothing because you're worried. You're worried about what people are going to think. You're worried about making a mistake. So a really important thing for language learning in a classroom, and maybe in other contexts too, is getting to the point where you realize you're going to make mistakes and that's okay and you're not worried about it. If you can get to that point and just feel relaxed and calm and just excited to learn, that's going to make a big difference.